All right, guys. Now, remember, I was telling you, some of you might remember this from before, but I'm going to present this in more detail to you right now. And I hate to leave you on a cliffhanger, somewhat of a cliffhanger, but this will be the last video for today, unfortunately, because I have to go do some stuff. But I will pick this back up, Lord willing, I'll pick it back up tomorrow. So let's do this real quick. Comet Ison and 69 weeks here. All right. So again, this goes back to, as I said, there was a woman named Anna who had a YouTube channel called 777AEJ. And this is when she was serving the Lord, and she was a watchman on the wall, receiving information just as the rest of us. And she has since turned away and gone a whole nother direction. I don't even think she's a Christian anymore, so I wouldn't advise going to look at her channel now. And I tried to find the video, but I couldn't find it. It was deleted. She took it down, whatever the case may be. But what the Lord showed her was, as I said to you before, but credit to her because she was the first one to show this, that the daily, it says, and by him the daily was taken away. That refers to the oath of office, to the Antichrist taking the oath of office. So he first took the oath of office, of course, January 20th, 2009. All right. That's when Obama did. Now, I'll start this by going to Daniel 12. In Daniel 12, verse 11. All right. So we'll get into this, and this is how we'll explain it. We'll start off with this. And this is Daniel 12, verse 11. And from the time that the daily sacrifice shall be taken away, and the abomination that maketh desolate set up, there shall be 1,290 days. So what she saw was, remember, the word sacrifice was added by the translators. So the scripture actually said from the time that the daily is taken away, the oath of office is taken by the Antichrist, January 20th, 2009, and the abomination that causes desolation is set up. This is an abomination in New York City. This was set up on August 2nd, 2012. As you can see there, 8/2/12. It shall be 1,290 days. All right, it was exactly 1,290 days. Now, what was that abomination? I've explained this before. I know some of you have heard this before, but I'm going to break it down for those who haven't. In April or May, sometime in the spring of 2012, Obama and Michelle and a bunch of people, the governor of New York or whatever, they were all at the site where the One World Freedom Tower was being erected at. And Obama signed a steel beam. We remember, we rebuild, we come back stronger. Now, the WWW at the beginning of each phrase is the Hebrew letter Vav, Vav, Vav. It's Vav 3 times, and Vav equals the number 6. So he literally wrote 666 on the steel beam. Well, the day it was set up, the day the steel beam was installed into the top of the tower, the One World Freedom Tower, which represents the Tower of Babel, Nimrod, the day it was installed was August 2nd, 2012. That's the day it was set up. And it was exactly, as the scripture says in Daniel 12:11, 1,290 days. Now, I wrote, it's pretty small here. I hope you can see it. He signed 666 on the beam, and it was installed into the 104th floor. Now, I knew that would be significant even at that time, because as I explained to some of you before, some of this pointed back to the World Series from 2008 with the Phillies and the Tampa Bay Rays, which was the 104th World Series. I will not go into that right now, but I will later, because that connects to this. So he signed 666, and it went into the 104th floor, as in Daniel 10:4, 104. Okay. Then the Lord showed her how to look from that day that the abomination was set up until the date Comet Ison made its closest approach to the sun, which was November 28th, 2013. Now remember, that was Thanksgiving, and I said to you guys that the years of 2013 and 2019 make basically one complete victory lap, because it comes back around, because in 2019 the dates were exactly the same as they were in 2013. March 22nd, 2013, when Obama was in the Church of the Nativity, was a Friday, and in 2019 March 22nd was a Friday. November 28th, 2013, Comet Ison Day was Thursday, and it was Thanksgiving. And once again, in 2019, Thanksgiving was Thursday, November 28th, 2013. All right, so it all rolled back around again and came full circle, showing that what was started in 2013 will come back around and reveal itself and complete itself in 2019. And as I said to you, we are still in 2019 until March on God's calendar. We're not in 2020 yet. All right. So, Comet Ison Day, the day it made its closest approach to the sun, and pay attention to this, and it appeared to die. The scientists and experts said it died that day. It was gone. It burnt up in the sun. It was dead. That was exactly 69 weeks. That was revealed to Anna, that it was 69 weeks. It was 483 days. Now, that takes us, that is Daniel chapter 9, verse 25. And we're going there now. In Daniel 9:25, it says, "Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah the Prince shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again and the wall even in troublous times." So 7 weeks plus 62 weeks, that's 69 weeks. Now, for those who don't know, from the time that that commandment was given out, which was by Artaxerxes Longimanus, March 14th, 445 BC, I think it was. That was the exact date. Until the 10th of Nisan, the exact day that Jesus entered Jerusalem riding on a donkey, was exactly 69 weeks. Okay? It was 483 years. Now, we're dealing with 483 days, but that was 483 years until the Messiah showed up. And Jesus showed up exactly on that day, the 10th of Nisan. Then in verse 26, this is Daniel 9:26, it says, "And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with the flood. And unto the end of the war, desolations are determined." So at the end of the 7 and 62 weeks, at the end of 69 weeks, Messiah will be cut off. He will be removed, but not for himself. And then it talks about a city and the sanctuary being destroyed and being destroyed by a flood and a war going on and desolations going on to the end of the war. And then, of course, is the famous Daniel 9:27 after that, "And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week." You guys know about that already. So, all right, so back to this. So, Comet Ison Day was November 28, 2013. So a comet named Ison, as in I, Son of God, I immediately knew that this was pointing to Jesus, from an abomination that happened in New York City until that comet was 69 weeks. 483 days. So I knew Jesus was saying this first time frame would represent himself. Now, that's where Anna's revelation stopped. It didn't go any further. She thought it was over after that. But the Lord told me to count. He showed me to keep counting from November 28, 2013. And that was actually the start of Hanukkah that year. The Jews were a month early on their calendar that year, but they were celebrating Hanukkah. So it was Hanukkah and Thanksgiving. They were calling it Thanksgiving. But anyway, that was the start of Thanksgiving and the start of Hanukkah. The Lord told me to count from November 28th, 2013, and keep counting until September 25th, 2015. This was the same day that Pope Francis, the false prophet, was in New York City at Ground Zero. But the Lord showed me, he said, count from there and see what you come to. And I did it. I went on my phone and brought it up and counted, and it brought me to exactly 666 days. Obviously, God was pointing to the Antichrist with that. So what the Lord showed me was that he was showing a switch, that there was going to be a double fulfillment of the 69 weeks. But this one now was going to start and lead to the Antichrist, 666. So from there, September 25th, stay with me, 2015, right here, to January 20th, 2017, the day that Obama received, as we said, the political head wound. Again, 69 weeks, 483 days. And it says after 69 weeks, the Messiah shall be cut off. But in this case, it's the false Messiah was cut off by the political head wound, his power being taken away from him at the end of 69 weeks. Just like Jesus, at the end of 69 weeks, he was crucified. So there's always a delay after the 69 weeks before you get to the 70th week. Okay, and that brings us down here. Before you get to the 70th week, it always stops after the 69 weeks. And the Messiah, whether it be the true Messiah Jesus, or in this case, the false Messiah, is cut off after 69 weeks. So It wasn't until just a couple weeks ago, as I just explained in this video today, where the Lord revealed to me that from January 20th, 2017, you guys know this from the other video, until January 24th, 2020, coming up in a couple weeks, the 24th day of the first month from Daniel 10:4 will be 1100 days. So what will be left to happen, because we're in the 70th week of years, which started with the Nobel Peace Prize in October 2009, what would be left would be a 70th week of days, one literal week of 7 days that will start with a covenant, and he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 week, and in the midst of the week he shall cause the sacrifice and oblation to cease. I told you guys before, in the few videos that I made before, that the words, when you look up the words for sacrifice and oblation in that scripture, one of the meanings you find of those two words, for sacrifice, it means a thank offering, like an offering of thanks, pointing back to thanksgiving, and the word for oblation is gift or present, as in Christmas. And for those who don't know, whereas Comet Ison made its closest approach to the sun on November 28, 2013, 1 month later, it lapped around the sun. 1 month later, it made its closest approach to the earth on December 25th, 2013, Christmas Day. So Comet Ison literally pointed to Thanksgiving and Christmas. And I just told you how the words for sacrifice and oblation could mean thank offering, or an offering of thanks, and a gift or present. So literally that could mean Thanksgiving and Christmas. So what the scripture in Daniel 9:27 could be saying, and I'm telling you that it is what it's saying, and this is what's going to happen is, and he shall confirm a covenant with many for 1 literal week of 7 days. And in the midst of the week, he shall cause Thanksgiving and Christmas to cease. You've heard me say this before. I'm going to reiterate it again. Obama is going to do something to either cancel or change Thanksgiving and Christmas in the middle of this 70th week of days. That's what's going to happen. Now, Comet Ison, as I said, led to the understanding of, go back down there, of these 3 years from January 20th, 2017 to January 20th of 2020, because Comet Ison seemed to be dead and then reappeared after 3 whole days. So I knew it was pointing to Obama, the 666. It was pointing to him being gone for 3 whole days, and then he would return after January 20th, 2017. And what did he tell the Jews at that Hanukkah celebration? He said, I look forward to working with you all after January 20th. So he was talking about after January 20th of 2020. He's talking about the week of January 24th, coming up in about 2 weeks. He's going to be free from his 3 years of exile, if you want to call it political death, to have a resurrection and return right after January 20th of 2020. It is crucial to watch the week of January 21st to the 24th, which is the 24th day of the first month, January 24th, Daniel 10:4, because remember, 10:4, 666 leads to 10:4. I have so many confirmations of this 666 and 104 thing. It's crazy when I share it all with you. It's just like, it's too much. Like, that's why I said it's not even possible to do it in 1 or 2 videos. It's so many things that's going to confirm it and show it to you. But as I said, I'm going to have to pick this back up tomorrow. But you can see how 666 leads to 104. The Lord was showing through Comet Ison, the false son, Ison, I, son of God, Jesus, and the false son God, both being gone for 3 days and then having a resurrection. Jesus his was a miracle resurrection. Obama's will be a false miracle that the world will be deceived by, and he will return after his 3 years, right after January 20th of 2020. And at the same time, there will be a covenant with many for 1 week, the 70th week of Daniel. He's about to come back. in about 2 weeks. His time of exile and political death is going to end. I will explain more of this and then make it even more clear to you.